The Hittites, a land of 1,000 gods, or better said, a land that 1,000 other factions hate. This is kind of a survival horror campaign, just appropriate like real-life Hittites, but instead of surviving, we're gonna thrive, and I'm gonna show you some opening moves on the campaign, how you actually get the most out of this. You can't be reactive as the Hittites, you gotta be proactive. So first, we want to secure non-aggressions with the barbarians to the north. The Nairi, Hayashazi, and Kashkians were not really the biggest fans of the Hittites, and for centuries the Kashkians were just a big thorn in their backside. But here, they actually want to trade because special resources have a lot of value. Tarhuntasha might appear friendly, but don't let that fool you. At the end of the day, we're gonna go to war with everybody, so let's trade and let's abuse this while we can. Ugarit is our only real friend, and historically they betrayed Egypt to end up on the Hittite side, and that's great. They're gonna remain loyal for the most part. Trust me on this. Quotation mark. So now that we got the initial diplomacy in, what do we want to do? You're gonna research a land of 1,000 gods, because this is massively gonna improve your public order. Trust me, this is mandatory. So many different cultures, you don't want to waste time converting. You're going to move this army here on the border. And you're going to take your faction leader's army here. You're going to start recruiting some good old Anatolian dirt cheap disgusting mob. You're probably going to call me crazy, and you are absolutely right, but we're getting mercenaries from the get-go. Money is not the problem, and let me tell you one thing about the mod, mercenaries are not a waste at any point. Muster field for a bigger troop variety here. And you can go growth if you want. Upgrading silver because it's amazing, and there's also the option to convert the settlement into, I mean not the settlement but the temple into a stone house because more growth. But for now we're just gonna focus on the military and the next plan. Don't mind me guys, I just marched 2 armies into your lands, totally unprovoked. This is not gonna end bad for you, promise. Yeah. I'm a filthy liar. Sorry, Kizuwatna, I need the tin. Because remember, we're in the Bronze Age. Tin is what we need for bronze. Occupying it, trampling them into the dust. They have a market settlement here, but realistically, you want to start converting culture. So we're going to dismantle this and get ready for a temple next turn. And the same thing is going to happen here. We're just going to say, hey buddies, we traded, but now we're going to raid. Well, a little bit more than that. We're going to actually occupy. And this might seem like a dick move, and it is, but we're gonna need this. Now, we have an access to a port settlement, and we can issue a full edict. Initially, holding festivals, and we can actually get a merchant's wharf. Extremely important. The moment you conquer Tarhuntasha, you open the diplomacy screen, and we're gonna try to see what we can salvage from the situation. Everybody is gonna hate you because of expansionism, even Ugarit's relation is gonna drop a bit, but that's okay. You wanna try to trade with the Minoans on Knossos and Trianda. Even if they don't wanna take a normal trade, just pay a little bit. Even if they break the trade agreement, you can easily get it again, even if your reputation is not the best. The AI really values their resources, and now we can trade with our best buddies in Ugarit, which are a little bit cold-hearted now after we've stomped Kizuwatna into the ground, which they definitely wanted, but you know, we got money, and we're totally fine now. But we're also exposed to more factions. Doesn't sound good, but we're here to fight, not just AFK. You also want to try and trade with Alashia, famous for its copper, and you know what that means. Don't let this fool you just because I haven't been instantly declared on by everybody around me. This campaign is Dark Souls. The question is, when does it begin? ARZAWA is definitely gonna go to war. Troy is gonna go to war the moment the Arzawans do. Orchomenos and Mycenae also have a chance to do that. We're just gonna be proactive. We're gonna go and kill them instead. Totally called it, didn't I? What's yours is definitely mine now, and it's actually time to get a granite settlement. This is gonna expose us to Troy, unfortunately, but we're not here AFK. We're here to fight for our life and get rich from that. One thing you can do, you can send your politicians on diplomatic missions, and this has a chance to either give you a massive war, yeah, because they might kill your, in this case, faction heir, or they might even give you land. if you got the money to spare, it's always worth the gamble if you want to expand. Am I supposed to act surprised now? It's not like you guys are fighting Orchomenos. Like, what is the chance of you actually landing an army? Would you? Look at that. Our faction here was actually a pretty good diplomat, so we got a settlement in the Kashkin area. This exposes us to more barbarians, but for the time being, we're just gonna deconstruct the temple there, convert the settlement, and we're gonna raise another army. Don't let the money fool you. We absolutely can afford to raise an army to defend our land just in case, and even better, to go on the offense if needed. So we're just gonna get a little skeleton army here and get ready to intercept when necessary. Really? Am I supposed to be Brad Pitt now? Okay, fine. It's not like I didn't expect this campaign to go this way anyway. Looks like the ARZAWANs want to get slaughtered, and you know what? Who am I to deny such a gracious request? It's time for battle. Historically speaking, the ARZAWANs and Hittites were not on the best terms. The ARZAWANs were fighting them, trying to rebel. The Hittites would sometimes be successful in occupying them. Sometimes the Greeks, as we can see here, would actually support anti-Hittite rebellions in Western Asia Minor. That's actually one of the theories behind the Trojan War. So, this battle is going to be an absolute slaughter. We've got infantry superiority in general, even though they have 2 elite swords. We have relatively more brain power, and we got chariots, so let's actually abuse this and just go destroy them while we can. So they've got so many more skirmishers. This actually might be deadly. Slingers are not as devastating though as archers, especially Anatolian ones, so I'm not too concerned. As long as I get the correct targets in, as long as we get to abuse the chariots, and as long as we get to abuse the infantry. I got chariots hidden here, and I've got some flanking infantry ready, just in case. Okay, the slingers are getting there. Let's see if I can herd them in from this side. We need to get counter charges off before we actually start fighting. The Greeks are gonna slaughter anything the ARZAWANs have. Essentially, I don't have to be worried as long as I have the Mycenaeans here. Well, better said, Achaeans in general. My general stopped the charge order for some weird reason. Let's get the chariots on the move. Everybody's counter-charging. That's perfect. Let's get this flank on the side. The heavy spearmen are gonna just go fight the general. Meanwhile, my general is mopping up the tribal slingers. Let's take a little zoom in look. I don't know why the FPS dropped. That's so weird. This didn't happen before the update. Oh, they're getting crushed. Don't you just love seeing that happen? Okay, now we're just gonna go behind here. Reinforce. These guys are still gonna wait for the opener. We're not using them yet. Just gonna bring them in closer just for a bit, and now we're gonna collapse everywhere. Look, the chariots are just gonna slaughter them. There is no outplay for these guys whatsoever. My general is really critical here with 13. Okay, the archers stopped. The archers are gonna change targets now. We can get a really deadly flank in here. We're just gonna try to hurt him. General is just destroying. Let's get a rear charge. This is perfect. These chariots are coming in as well. Just gonna get a charge on the Anatolian mob. They're gonna get destroyed. I was planning to use those guys on an ambush there, but it's not really working out the best. And as you can see, the Hittite chariots are absolutely causing a slaughter. They're gonna get sandwiched on the other side. This is perfect. Now, this is suicide. Engaging Hittite swordsmen into Luvian guardsmen, but we need this just for now. Look how they're perfectly getting hurted. Chariots stop a little bit despite the perfect drag order, but this is fine. Let's actually intercept the bodyguard here while our general plays bowling and the Luvian flank collapses. We gotta get them to the side. This is perfect. This is perfect, actually. I love it. You can't say the Hittite chariots didn't carry this in a way. The infantry broke through. Funny Anatolian mob moment. The Greek spearmen are coming in, and the Greek swordsmen can just charge them, but no, we're gonna get them into the general, actually. That's a lot more critical for us. Meanwhile, we're seeing the chariots here just destroy what's left of the slingers. Yeah, I'm not zooming in because this is an actual battle we gotta play. Like, when you want to see narrative, you get narrative. Gonna get a decisive charge here from the rear. And that should be it for the ARZAWANs here. General is still chilling into the tribal slingers. These guys have been destroyed, so let's get them back. Our fast flankers are coming in now. As I said, I expected this unit to actually be, you know, more useful, these two, but the AI decided to change where they were fighting, so it is what it is. Sometimes it just do be like that, but we're decisively winning. As you can see, they're just getting slaughtered and there's nothing they can do about it. I have chariots, they don't. Oh, why is the FPS so weird? They have chariots, I don't, and this is just no counterplay, essentially. Let's see if we can get a flank off. And yeah, the ARZAWANs have been slaughtered. Chariot supremacy, infantry supremacy, and Greek supremacy. After destroying the remnants of the ARZAWAN army, their city has been decisively conquered, and look, we're 10 turns in. We've expanded like mad, we've got enough armies to defend against Troy, to defend against any incursion and suppress any rebellion. This is how easy it can actually be. The Trojans invade, and we could auto-resolve, but this would actually be disastrous. We need to keep the momentum, the most important part, so let's just go ahead and slaughter them. So, for some historical background, the Trojans were actually a client state of the Hittites. We have many written documents, for example, the treaty between King Alexandru and the Hittites, so yeah. Now we're gonna subjugate them, or better said, we're gonna occupy them for our lovely land. Now, this battle is actually gonna be interesting geography-wise, because look how spread we are all over the place. We actually have to go in over on this side to meet the Trojans. We can absolutely slaughter them with the chariots. We're not even worried in the slightest, realistically. Now, we can overlap some of these units here. We can get some of these on the flank. Chariots are here. Great. Because of the terrain, this is actually going to be hilarious. And now, it's time for some good old bowling. If it's not our favorite sport, then I don't know what is. Yeah, by that I don't mean running into bushes, goddammit game. But we're just running over the Trojan backline, there's nothing they can do, they have no chariots of their own, and as we all know, mobility dominance in any Total War game can be the absolute game breaker, right there. So we're gonna pull the chariots back, so that we don't want them to actually run into the general unit. This side is fine. Trojan general spearmen, they're actually really good. Trojan skirmishers in general, the unique ones they get, are pretty damn good, but Troy is nowhere near a power faction in this mod. Like, they have some viability. If you're smart, you can pull off some really good victories with them, but realistically, they're not as strong as, let's say, the Hittites. Not even close. The infantry difference is just too big. The chariot difference is pretty big as well. But if you can actually find a fair matchup as the Trojans in skirmish, that's fantastic. Okay, we're just gonna get a sweet charge in here. This unit has just been stuck there even though we gave a perfect order. A little bit weird, but it's fine. Mercenary Anatolian bowmen about to get deleted. We're just gonna use the chariots here, flank with the infantry. Trying to not get sandwiched too hard with the chariots, and we're gonna get a perfect rear charge here. Into the Trojan levy spears. Chariots just doing what they do best, colliding, doing damage. Our skirmishers are winning, our infantry line is having zero problems winning this. If we auto-resolve this fight, you know what this would have been? Like, maybe 30% of the army would have lived for nothing, meanwhile we just get to enjoy some chariots swooping them up. Look at this side. This side has collapsed. They had noble Anatolian swords here, they had levy swords, levy spears, but the chariots just broke them, and being able to hold them in a way they couldn't, like, actually bring their superiority there. That's perfect. Like, now we just run them down. That's all it takes. Smart usage of chariots and just avoiding their elite infantry. Troy is basically destroyed. Nothing more they can do. Yeah, remember that time I said it was gonna be merciful? No, they've just been crushed. Following our decisive battle, Troy has been crushed, conquered, and most of Anatolia is ours to control. Public order is stable. If any rebellion pops up, you can just use that for eventual XP farming or whatever. We have a strong economic base, you can disband mercenaries at your own will, hire them, and Hittites are in a great position now. Just remember, use your brain, you got it, the AI doesn't. I hope you enjoyed this Age of Bronze little guide on the Hittite intro. This is just part 1. If you want to see the same intro for Egypt or a continuation of the Hittite series, write it in the comments. Either way, if you are crazy enough to like or even sub, muchly appreciated. And even if you just enjoyed the video, I'm happy, okay? Anyway, until the next time.